Let me ask you something important right now. If someone told you that a brand new law was just passed that could directly affect your healthcare, your benefits, and your monthly income, would you want to know about it immediately? Of course you would. And that is exactly why you need to watch this entire video today. Because right now, millions of older Americans across this country are completely unaware of something massive that just happened. The Supreme Court of the United States just issued an 8-1 ruling on a brand new elder care bill. And this decision is already sending shockwaves through the senior community from coast to coast. Whether you are 62 years old or 92 years old, whether you are already collecting Social Security or still planning your retirement, whether you live alone or with family members who help take care of you, this ruling has the potential to affect your life in ways you may not have even considered yet. Most seniors have no idea this even happened. The evening news barely covered it. Your doctor probably hasn't mentioned it yet, and your benefits office certainly has not sent you a letter about it. But today, right here in this video, I am going to break everything down for you in plain and simple language that anyone can understand. No confusing legal terms, no complicated government language. Just straight and honest information about what happened, what it means for you personally, and exactly what steps you should be taking right now to protect yourself and your benefits. So stay with me all the way through this video because every single section contains information that could directly impact your financial security, your healthcare access, and your overall quality of life as a senior in America today. Before we get into everything, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your notification bell. I cover breaking news about senior benefits, Social Security updates, Medicare changes, and everything else that affects older Americans on a regular basis. And this is exactly the kind of update you cannot afford to miss. Now let us get into it. Part 1. What exactly happened at the Supreme Court? First things first, let us talk about what actually happened and why it matters so much. The Supreme Court of the United States is the highest court in the entire country. When the Supreme Court makes a decision, that decision becomes the law of the land. It affects every single state. It affects every single city and town. And it affects every single person living in America, including you. Now, the Supreme Court does not make decisions lightly. These justices spend months reviewing cases, reading arguments, studying the law, and carefully considering the impact their decisions will have on real people living real lives across this country. So when the Supreme Court issues a ruling, especially one as significant as this one, the entire country needs to pay attention. This new ruling came down as an 8-1 decision. That means 8 out of 9 Supreme Court justices voted in favour of this ruling. Only one justice voted against it. To put that in perspective, an 8-1 ruling is about as close to unanimous as the Supreme Court gets. It shows that the overwhelming majority of the nation's highest legal minds agreed that this decision was not only correct, but absolutely necessary. So what exactly did they rule on? The Supreme Court issued this ruling in direct connection with the new elder care bill that has been working its way through the legal system. This bill specifically addresses the rights, protections, and support systems that exist for older Americans throughout the United States. It covers a wide range of issues that directly affect seniors every single day, including how care is delivered, how benefits are managed, how protections are enforced, and how the system treats older Americans overall. The 8-1 ruling essentially gave this elder care bill a powerful legal foundation and stamp of approval from the highest court in the country. And that means the changes outlined in this bill are now moving forward with full legal authority behind them. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal, and every senior in America deserves to understand what it means for them. Part 2. What is the elder care bill and what does it cover? Now let us talk specifically about the elder care bill itself, because understanding what this bill actually contains is the key to understanding how it will affect your daily life. The elder care bill was designed with one primary goal in mind. That goal is to strengthen, protect, and improve the lives of older Americans across the country. For too long, seniors have faced challenges that younger Americans simply do not encounter in the same way. Healthcare costs that keep rising faster than Social Security checks can keep up with. Care facilities and providers that do not always follow the rules they are supposed to follow. Benefit systems that are confusing and difficult to navigate without professional help. Protection gaps that leave vulnerable seniors exposed to financial exploitation and abuse. The Elder Care Bill was written specifically to address these problems, and many others that older Americans face on a daily basis. Boy, here is a breakdown of the major areas this bill covers and what each one means for you as a senior. Healthcare access and protections. One of the most significant portions of the Elder Care Bill focuses on healthcare access for older Americans. Under this new bill, seniors will have stronger legal protections when it comes to accessing the healthcare they need and deserve. This means that insurance companies, care providers, and healthcare systems will face stricter requirements when it comes to serving older patients. Delays, denials, and unfair treatment of senior patients will now carry stronger legal consequences than they did before. If you have ever felt like the healthcare system was not treating you fairly because of your age, this portion of the bill was written specifically with people like you in mind. The goal is simple. Every senior in America deserves timely, respectful, and high-quality healthcare, and this bill strengthens the legal framework that is supposed to guarantee exactly that. Care facility standards and accountability. Another major section of the Elder Care Bill deals with care facilities, including nursing homes, assisted living centres, rehabilitation facilities, and in-home care services. For years, advocates for seniors have been raising alarms about substandard conditions in some of these facilities. Reports of neglect, inadequate staffing, poor sanitation, and failure to follow established care standards have been far too common. This bill establishes stronger accountability measures for all types of elder care facilities and providers. Facilities will now be held to higher and more clearly defined standards of care. Inspections will be more thorough and more frequent. Reporting requirements will be stricter and more transparent. And the consequences for facilities that fail to meet these standards will be significantly more serious than they were before. This is critically important for seniors who currently live in care facilities and for families who have loved ones receiving care in these settings. Financial protections against exploitation. Sadly, financial exploitation of older Americans is one of the most common and most devastating crimes in the country today. Scammers, fraudsters, and even some dishonest family members or caregivers take advantage of seniors every single day. The Elder Care Bill includes significant new provisions specifically designed to combat financial exploitation of older Americans. These provisions strengthen the legal tools available to law enforcement agencies when investigating and prosecuting elder financial abuse. They also create new requirements for financial institutions to help identify and flag suspicious activity involving senior account holders. And they establish clearer pathways for seniors who have been victimized to seek justice and potentially recover their losses. If you or someone you love has ever been targeted by a financial scam or exploitation scheme, this portion of the bill represents a meaningful step forward in the fight to protect seniors from these devastating crimes. Support services and community resources. The Elder Care Bill also addresses the broader network of support services that many seniors depend on to live independently and comfortably in their own homes and communities. Programs that provide meals, transportation, social engagement, and in-home assistance for seniors who need extra support will receive stronger backing and clearer guidelines under this new legislation. The goal is to make it easier for seniors to access the community-based support services they need without having to navigate an impossibly complicated maze of applications, requirements, and bureaucratic obstacles. For seniors who want to remain living independently in their own homes for as long as possible, this section of the bill represents genuinely good news. Caregiver support and recognition. Something that often gets overlooked in conversations about elder care is the enormous role that family caregivers play in the lives of millions of older Americans. Millions of adult children, spouses, siblings, and other family members spend countless hours every week providing unpaid care for their older loved ones. This is physically demanding, emotionally exhausting, and often financially draining work. The Elder Care Bill includes provisions that recognise the critical role of family caregivers and provide new forms of support and assistance to help them continue providing care without completely sacrificing their own well-being in the process. This matters not just for the caregivers themselves, but for the seniors who depend on them. When caregivers receive better support, the quality of care that seniors receive improves as well. Part 3. Why did the Supreme Court rule 8-1 in favour? Now you might be wondering something very reasonable. If this bill is so important and so beneficial for seniors, Why did it even need a Supreme Court ruling in the first place? That is a great question, and the answer helps explain just how significant this moment really is. Any major piece of legislation, especially one that involves changing how government programs work and how care providers must operate, is going to face legal challenges. There will always be parties who feel that new regulations interfere with their interests or their existing way of doing business. The Elder Care Bill faced exactly these kinds of legal challenges after it was passed. Opponents argued various points about how the bill should be interpreted and whether certain provisions were being applied correctly and fairly. These challenges eventually made their way all the way up to the Supreme Court of the United States. And when the Supreme Court took up the case, they reviewed every argument carefully and thoroughly. After that review, 8 out of 9 justices concluded that the Elder Care Bill and its provisions were sound, necessary, and legally solid. The 8-1 ruling essentially resolved the legal uncertainty that had been hovering over the bill and gave it the full backing and authority of the nation's highest court. What this means practically is that the legal challenges are now over. The protections and provisions in this bill are moving forward, and seniors across the country can now look at what this bill promises and know that it has the full weight of Supreme Court authority behind it. That is why this ruling is so significant. It is not just about one legal case, it is about giving real and lasting legal strength to protections that millions of older Americans genuinely need. Part 4. How will this ruling directly affect your benefits? Now let us get very practical and very specific. Because I know what most of you really want to understand is simple. What does this actually mean for my money, my healthcare, and my benefits? Let us go through this carefully. Social Security. The Elder Care Bill and the Supreme Court ruling do not directly eliminate or reduce anyone's existing Social Security benefits. However, the provisions in this bill do create new frameworks for how certain benefit-related disputes are handled and resolved. Seniors who have faced problems with their Social Security claims, who have had benefits incorrectly calculated or improperly denied, will now have access to stronger and clearer pathways to address those problems. Additionally, the protections around financial exploitation that this bill strengthens have direct implications for Social Security recipients. Scammers who target seniors specifically because they receive regular Social Security income will now face stronger legal consequences for their crimes. Medicare. The healthcare access provisions of the Elder Care Bill have significant implications for Medicare beneficiaries. Seniors on Medicare may see improvements in how quickly and easily they can access certain services. The stronger accountability measures for care providers mean that Medicare-funded services will be held to higher standards of quality and consistency. And the clearer protections against unfair treatment of older patients will benefit anyone who relies on Medicare for their healthcare needs, which is to say the vast majority of seniors in America. Medicaid and long-term care. For seniors who receive Medicaid benefits, particularly those in nursing homes or other long-term care settings, this ruling carries very direct implications. The stronger facility standards and accountability measures outlined in the Elder Care Bill will directly affect the quality of care that Medicaid-funded facilities are required to provide. This means that seniors in these settings should theoretically receive better, more consistent, and more carefully monitored care going forward. Other federal assistance programs seniors who participate in other federal assistance programs, including nutrition assistance, housing support, and community service programs, may also see positive changes as a result of the broader support service provisions included in the Elder Care Bill. The goal of making these programs more accessible and easier to navigate for seniors is a direct priority of this legislation. Part 5. What are the most important things seniors need to do right now? All right, let us get into the action steps. Because knowing about this ruling is important, but knowing what to actually do about it is what really matters. Here are the most important steps every senior should be taking right now in response to this ruling. Step 1. Get informed about your specific benefits. Every senior's situation is unique. The way this ruling affects you personally will depend on which programs you currently participate in, where you live, what kind of care you receive, and many other individual factors. The most important first step is to get a clear and accurate picture of your own current benefits situation. Make a list of every program you currently receive benefits through. Write down your monthly Social Security amount, your Medicare coverage details, any Medicaid benefits you receive, and any other programs you participate in. Having this information clearly organized will make it much easier to track any changes and ask the right questions. Step 2. Contact your benefits office directly. Once you have a clear picture of your current situation, reach out directly to the offices that manage your benefits. Call your local Social Security office. Call your Medicare helpline. Contact your state's Medicaid office if applicable. When you call, ask specifically whether this new elder care bill ruling affects your current coverage or benefits in any way. Ask whether there are any new forms you need to complete or any new information you need to provide. Ask about any deadlines or timeframes you should be aware of. Write down the name of the person you speak with and the date of your conversation so you have a record. Getting information directly from official sources is always the safest and most reliable approach. Step 3. Talk to your healthcare providers. Your doctors, specialists, and other healthcare providers also need to be aware of how this ruling may affect the services they provide to senior patients. At your next appointment, ask your doctor or healthcare provider whether they are familiar with the new elder care bill and whether any of its provisions affect your care in any way. A good healthcare provider will either be able to answer your questions directly or connect you with someone in their billing or administrative office who can. Step 4. Check for official government announcements. As the provisions of the elder care bill are implemented in the wake of this Supreme Court ruling, various government agencies will be issuing official guidance, announcements, and updates. Make a habit of checking official government websites for new information. The Social Security Administration website, the Medicare website, and your state's official government website are all reliable sources for accurate and up-to-date information. Be very cautious about information you see on social media or receive through unsolicited phone calls or emails. Misinformation about senior benefits is extremely common and can cause real harm to people who act on false information. Step 5. Involve your family in these conversations. If you have family members who help you manage your healthcare or financial affairs, make sure they are aware of this ruling and what it means. Share this video with them. Talk to them about your current benefits situation. Having family members who are informed and engaged can make a significant difference in your ability to navigate any changes that arise from this new legislation. Part 7. What families of seniors need to know. If you are watching this video, not as a senior yourself, but as the family member of an older loved one, this section is specifically for you. The role that families play in the lives of seniors cannot be overstated. Millions of older Americans rely on their adult children, their spouses, their siblings, and other family members for help navigating the healthcare system, managing their finances, and understanding changes that affect their benefits. This new elder care bill and the Supreme Court ruling behind it have direct implications for family caregivers as well. Here is what families specifically should be paying attention to. Understanding the care facility standards. If your older loved one currently lives in a nursing home, assisted living facility, or other care setting, you should familiarise yourself with the new standards and accountability measures that apply to these facilities under the elder care bill. You have every right to ask facility administrators how they are responding to these new requirements and what steps they are taking to ensure compliance. Do not be afraid to ask hard questions on behalf of your loved one. That is your job as a family advocate. Watching for signs of financial exploitation, the provisions in the elder care bill related to financial exploitation should be on every family member's radar. Keep an eye on your older loved one's financial accounts and statements if they have given you permission or authority to do so. Watch for unusual transactions, unexpected withdrawals, or new accounts you are not aware of. If something does not look right, take action immediately by contacting the relevant financial institutions and, if necessary, local law enforcement or adult protective services. Having important conversations. Now, one of the most valuable things families can do right now is sit down together and have an honest and thorough conversation about care plans, financial arrangements, legal documents, and future needs. This includes making sure that important legal documents like powers of attorney, healthcare directives, and wills are in place and up to date. It includes discussing what the senior's wishes are regarding care settings and medical decision-making, and it includes reviewing the current benefits situation to make sure everyone understands what the older family member receives, and where those benefits come from. These conversations are sometimes difficult to initiate, but having them now while everyone is healthy and thinking clearly is infinitely better than trying to sort through these issues in the middle of a crisis. Part 8. Looking forward. What comes next? The Supreme Court's 8-1 ruling on the Elder Care Bill is not the end of this story. It is actually closer to the beginning. In the weeks and months ahead, we will see government agencies at both the federal and state levels begin the process of implementing the various provisions of this bill. New regulations will be written, new guidelines will be issued, new training requirements will go into effect for care providers and facilities, and new resources will gradually become available for seniors who need help navigating the system. This implementation process takes time. Changes of this magnitude do not happen overnight, but the legal foundation is now firmly in place thanks to this ruling. And that means the process of real and lasting change for older Americans is genuinely underway. Here is what I want you to take away from that reality. Stay engaged, stay informed, keep watching for updates from official sources, and keep coming back to this channel because I will be covering every significant development related to this ruling and its impact on seniors as it unfolds. You deserve to know what is happening. You deserve to understand your rights. And you deserve to be fully prepared for whatever changes come your way. Part 9. Common questions. Seniors are asking right now. Let me take a few minutes to address some of the most common questions that seniors are asking in the wake of this ruling, because I know that when news like this breaks, questions multiply fast. Question 1. Will my current benefits be reduced because of this ruling? No existing Social Security or Medicare benefits are being reduced as a direct result of this ruling. The Elder Care Bill and the Supreme Court ruling behind it are focused on strengthening protections and improving services for seniors, not cutting benefits. However, as with any major legislation, there will be an ongoing implementation process, and it is important to stay informed about how specific provisions are being applied. Question 2. Do I need to reapply for my benefits? At this time, there is no indication that existing benefit recipients need to reapply for their current benefits as a result of this ruling. However, if you receive any official communication from your benefits office asking you to update your information or complete a new form, take that seriously and respond promptly. Just make sure any communication you act on comes from a verified and official source, not from an unsolicited phone call or email. Question 3. How will I know if something changes in my specific case? The best way to stay informed about changes that affect your specific situation is to maintain regular contact with your benefits offices and healthcare providers. Check in with them periodically and ask directly whether anything has changed or is about to change in your coverage or benefits. Sign up for official notifications from government agencies where that option is available, and stay tuned to reliable sources of information like this channel for ongoing updates. Question 4. What if I think I am being denied benefits I should be receiving? If you believe you are being wrongfully denied benefits you qualify for, you have the right to appeal that decision. Contact your relevant benefits office and ask about the appeals process. You may also want to seek assistance from a local legal aid organisation or a senior advocacy group that can help you understand your options and navigate the appeals process. Do not simply accept a denial without exploring whether you have grounds to challenge it. Question 5. Is this going to affect seniors in all states equally? Some provisions of the Elder Care Bill will be applied uniformly across all states, while others may be implemented somewhat differently depending on state-level laws and administrative decisions. This means the specific impact of this ruling may look slightly different depending on where you live. Checking with your state's official agencies in addition to federal resources will give you the most complete picture of how this ruling affects seniors in your particular state. Conclusion. Let me bring everything together for you right here at the end. The Supreme Court's 8-1 ruling on the new Elder Care Bill is one of the most significant legal developments affecting older Americans in recent years. It strengthens healthcare access protections for seniors. It establishes stronger accountability standards for care facilities and providers. It creates meaningful new protections against financial exploitation of older Americans. It expands and clarifies support for community-based services that help seniors live independently. and it provides new forms of recognition and support for the millions of family members who serve as unpaid caregivers for their older loved ones. The legal path forward is now clear thanks to this ruling. And while the full implementation of all these provisions will take time, the direction is unmistakably positive for seniors across America. What you need to do right now is stay informed, ask questions, rely on official sources, protect yourself from scammers, and involve your family in these important conversations. Do not let another day go by assuming that someone else is keeping track of your benefits and your rights on your behalf. Nobody is going to do that for you. The seniors who end up best protected and most prepared are always the ones who stay engaged and take action on their own behalf. You now have the information you need to start doing exactly that. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up right now. It helps more seniors find this information when they need it most. Share this video with every older American in your life and with every family member who helps care for a senior loved one. And subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so you never miss an important update about senior benefits, Social Security news, Medicare changes, and everything else that matters to older Americans living in this country today. You deserve to know what is happening, and I will be right here making sure you always do. Stay informed, know your rights, protect your benefits.